back to Domina Chase's Humanistic BDSM. Yay! I'm Domina Chase, and this is
Petrick.
Well, so we're going to be answering one of our followers' questions today. And what do you remember what the question is?
Something about long distance DS.
Okay, yes. How do you do long distance DS? Okay. So, do you want to explain how we did it? So, background, if you don't know us, so right now we are in real time, but that's not how it normally is. We're usually on exact opposite sides of the planet.
12 hours offset.
12 hours.
If we move one time zone in either direction, we will be closer.
Yes. So, we definitely have...
Way.
This is
amazing.
This is not sponsored post. He's just into that right now.
I really like it. It's really good.
Okay, anyway, so do you remember what our ground rules are? So also too, just to let you know that, so we are in a DS relationship, but we are also in a vanilla romantic relationship, so that you understand the context of which this advice is being given. Alright, so what's our first rule?
I feel put on the spot here.
What's the basic one that we say?
Safe words?
Radical honesty.
Aggressive
honesty. So we have aggressive honesty. So
yes.
What's aggressive honesty? So there's just like the one thing of when you say like, did you eat the cookie? Yes, I ate the cookie. So you're being honest, but how would that be different? It was aggressive honesty.
Yes, I ate the cookie that you baked, and it actually wasn't very good.
That's radical honesty. Actually, what would have also been was like, as soon as he ate it, he's like, oh shit, I need to tell Domina. I forgot, I was supposed to tell her before I was supposed to take a picture of myself or something before I ate this cookie.
I just went and ate the cookie, and I didn't do the
I didn't take a picture or whatever. So that's basically, it's like telling on yourself. So you're not waiting to tell the truth.
Low power.
Inopportune. It's just said low power. Do you want to stop? Where did I put? So, aggressive honesty. That's the number one thing.
Oh, we're just picking right back up.
Yeah. Don't you want to start over?
I thought we were starting over. My bad.
Well, because I figured we just...
Splice them, yeah.
What do you want to do?
No, we'll just keep going.
Okay.
It's cool. This is just like blooper reel footage.
Right, B-roll. Okay, so what would you say the next most important, what's our next most important rule? Or we call them SOP, Standing Operating Procedures, because that's how we are.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say more with the aggressive honesty.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Because part of aggressive honesty, because like, I kind of threw in like the cookie wasn't even very good because, you know, sometimes like we in our lives tell a lot of like small lies to spare each other's feelings. We omit things, we lie about things, you know, people tend to call them white lies. Aggressive honesty tends to also equate to brutal honesty.
Brutal honesty, yes. But we try to say in the most loving way possible.
It doesn't mean be mean about it. You don't have to be an asshole, but you're not lying, you're not withholding information.
Because omission is also a lie in Domina Chase's world, just so you know. The reason why that's a benefit is if he said, oh, the cookie wasn't that good, because what will happen if he says, oh yeah, it was great, I liked it, it was like, oh, it was okay. I will make him those cookies again, and what's going to happen is he's going to have to keep eating those cookies, and eventually he's going to get to the point where he says, you know, I've never actually liked those cookies. I'm like, why? I've been making you them for like 20 years. Now you tell me that you don't like them? What the fuck's wrong with you? So he's not, when the DS context instead of just a relationship context, he is not giving me all the best information possible so that I can be the best Dom possible. I can't. And what if I feed this to like other people? Like, then I'd get embarrassed. I didn't know. Like, you would be a bad pet then. You let your dog get embarrassed. But see, that's why you tell me, right? So I could be a good dom.
Yeah.
So it's I'm gonna let you guys know it is not easy even for us. This is something that we really do believe in, but it's hard. And also too, part of like aggressive honesty is like, I mean, we balance it out, but like even if the other person is having a bad day, but if you need to tell the other person bad news, you need to tell them, because I know with me, I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me right away? But there's sometimes that he has withheld some things that could wait, and he'll say, Domina, like, you're having a bad day, it wasn't that important, and I'm like, yeah. Okay, that's fine.
But the key is, like, you still bring it up.
You still bring it up, right?
You're just like, okay, this is not a good time. I'm not going to withhold this information forever. I'm not going to even hold on to it for a month or a week, and go hold on to it just for like this day, so that she's in a better place.
Right, like, because sometimes like you just have like that one thing and it just sets you off. Like it's something really small, but you just can't take it anymore. Okay, are we ready to move on?
Okay.
Okay, so I would say the next most important thing is we assume the best of each other.
Yes.
Okay, so do you want to explain that one?
So, being long distance especially, but even happens when we're here in person with each other.
Yes, actually, as we found.
Yes. Sometimes, as much as we try...
I have my own can.
I told you, it is really good. Anyway, no matter how hard we try to communicate, sometimes you don't have all the information. And so sometimes you may learn something that's upsetting, or, whatever, or, you may get one bit of information that might naturally lead you to certain assumptions.
Right.
Negative assumptions, particularly. So our rule is we assume the best of each other. Like, if I know that, I don't know, you were chatting to someone on Tinder, like, instead of, like, blocking you on everything and sending you a breakup message. I mean, that's actually kind of allowed anyway, I guess, but, But let's pretend that's against the rules, we're totally closed. And I just find out that one piece of information, nothing else, and maybe it might be in the middle of the night for her. She's asleep. I can't even just be like, hey, what's up with this? So I could totally explode, like block her on everything, send like a crazy breakup message, or I could sit there and like just obsess over it all day, or I could assume the best and say, you know what? There's probably a good reason for this. Until I know more, I'm going to assume that there is a valid reason, and we're going to talk about it once we're able.
Right. So, like, for instance, in this case, it might have been like, look, this is someone I used to talk to on Tinder, and we're friends, and we just never went to another social media app. Like, we just
you had no other way to contact them.
Like we just talk on Tinder, which actually I do sometimes. Like in the past, I have kept up social relationships on Tinder and never met the person, strangely enough. That actually has happened.
I like that we thought of this, like, that you already knew where I was going with this. By the way, we don't have a script or anything for this. We had to, like, as we started the camera, we were like, what's our question? So.
Yes. So what, I think that's it for, just assuming the best of each other, especially when there's a huge time delay. It really helps. It also helps the person that's awake, because then they can go on with their day. They don't fester. It doesn't mess with them as much. I mean, it's still going to mess with you. But it also helps the person who's asleep and they wake up. They don't get like, what the fuck did you do? No, it's more like, hey, I'm upset. There's this thing. Can you please explain? I hope there's a good explanation. I don't know what it is, but can you please explain what's happening? So that's what it means to assume the best of each other.
Yeah. It doesn't mean ignoring red flags. It
Nope.
doesn't mean we buy any bullshit excuse.
Nope.
You know, if when the other person explains it, it doesn't sound right, you are free to question them more, call them out on it. But it's just
not an excuse for abuse. Like, no, they're fine. They hit me, but they're fine. Like 99% of the other times. No,
Right.
like if someone hits non-consensually, someone hits you non-consensually because I forgot, like BDSM. If someone hits you non-consensually, you don't be like, oh well, I'm sure they had a good reason behind it. Like,
right. This doesn't mean you're ignoring anything. You're still following up on it. It's just in the absence of other information, you're going to assume that there was a good reason for this until you can find out the truth.
Right. You're giving your partner a chance to explain.
And it's also helped us when we've had trouble sometimes, especially with really emotional topics, that sometimes we've had trouble articulating and vocalizing exactly what was going on. And sometimes it takes a bit of back and forth and that assuming the best. And, well, it also helps the fact that we think very much alike.
Because that's actually how I'm able to get into his head a lot, is when he does something that just fucking baffles me and frankly pisses me off. I'm like, okay, what set of circumstances would make this okay? Why could he possibly say why this is okay? And I have a fairly high accuracy rate.
Yeah, you do.
But very simple, very complex, nuanced things that I can't think of at the moment, but has definitely happened in the past.
Definitely.
Also, too, sometimes, as much as we talk and we communicate, we're used to texting on to each other. Sometimes things still get lost, through text. You're missing those nonverbal cues. And I think even then, I think that assuming the best of each other has also really helped. What the fuck does that mean? I'm like, hey, this sounded like this. What did you mean by that? And we figured it out from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think is the next most important rule? Are you going to supply it, or do I just have to pull it out of my ass?
I mean, those are actually our two biggest rules.
Those are two biggest rules.
There's other things, but I think they fall more into the realm of protocols and rituals.
But that's what we're supposed to be answering, silly butt. So I think
I just see those as different than what our SOP is,
No, this next one, keeping our rituals, even if we're upset at each other, even if we're butthurt at each other, or we're angry, whether it can range from butthurt to we're fucking pissed. We keep to the rituals.
One of our rituals is actually the way we tell each other that we love each other. We have an I love you ritual.
Yes, we do. A pretty elaborate one.
It is. It's all our different titles and names for each other.
Right.
It's like you're announcing royalty, Domina Chase, the first of her name. Princess of Pain, Duchess of Domination.
Right. So that's one of our rules. Even if we've done this, even in the middle of an argument, I will start the ritual. Actually, so usually I'm the one that starts the ritual, or if he wants to say the ritual, he will say something that lets me know he wants to do the ritual. So even when we're both upset at each other, or we're angry, is that if someone starts the ritual, you have to finish it. Mm-hmm. You have to do it.
Even if it's a little patty, oh, Domina.
I love you, Petrick. But you have to do the ritual properly. So what that does is, what I think that's what, honestly, I don't think we would have lasted as a long distance couple if we weren't DS. Because I feel like when we have like really huge misunderstandings, big fights, you know, I guess that's the hard part with when you're in a long distance relationship of any kind, is that the time difference gets compounded. So this is our guest for today. This is Dog. He is a neighbor's dog who likes to break out of their yard and come visit us. Anyway, so the reason why it's really helpful and that I think that it's been essential for us is that when you do the ritual, it reaffirms that, hey, like, this is temporary. Like, yes, we're angry at each other, there's inflamed emotions, but we still love each other so much that we are going to stick to this ritual no matter what.
Yeah.
It's not even just, there's sometimes where we're so upset and so hurt that it's not just, obviously we're saying I love you, but what really drives that point home is the fact that we're keeping the ritual. And I love my Petrick, but as you can see, sometimes he gets really pouty even when I theoretically call him, like, not theoretically refer to him as like not a good pet, he gets all pouty. Like, even in imaginary world, he gets pouty, okay? So this is especially important for you know, D-types out there, is if you're in a DS relationship, you really want to make sure that your sub knows that even if they've done something wrong, even if it's massively wrong, they are still your submissive. They are still your pet, your slave. You still care about them.
It's the kinky equivalent of like the vanilla advice about don't go to bed angry.
Right.
Except in reality, sometimes you go to bed angry because you know, emotions don't work like that.
Exactly.
But I think the idea is the same. It's reaffirming that your relationship is still intact even though you're having this argument.
Right. So for us, the vanilla relationship and the DS relationship is still intact. I really caution couples with, you know, like sometimes I'll joke like, oh, I'm gonna go find another sub, but I never joke like that. I never joke about that when we're actually having an argument, do I? I never, ever. I just tease him. I only say that when we're in a good mood, right? Mm-hmm. Right? So I caution doms sometimes it's tempting to do that, to say that, and that's gonna really erode the confidence that your submissive has. And submissives, if you have doms who are saying that, that's a huge red flag. That's emotional abuse.
Yeah, we've sometimes heard stories of people who they did something wrong and their doms withheld affection, not just affection, but like communication, like basically ghosted them for a week, and then later told them, "Oh, well, I was mad at you, so that was your punishment." Like, unless that's predetermined, unless that's a pre-negotiated part of your dynamic, that's a recipe for disaster.
Right.
So this is the opposite of that,
and that's especially compounded when you're long distance. Don't do that because it might be making noise through there.
Yeah, sorry.
So that, I think, it's something that's really important, is that rituals, to do them consistently, like every day if possible, or every time you communicate, and to do them no matter what is going on. You don't necessarily have to play, but if you have like a one basic ritual that every time you communicate, you touch each other like through that DS, and like, oh, it's still there. And also too, I feel like that actually works almost like a maintenance spanking. I feel like you don't actually need a lot of maintenance spankings. Sometimes, yeah. But not. I feel like not that much. But I think it's because every day we always reaffirm, you are my pet. You are my pet. Like, this is like the ritual puts him in his place, the place that he wants to be. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think those are the three most important basic things. We will make another video soon Let us know if you want to know specific rituals. Maybe you have your dynamic. Just let us know what your specific dynamic is, and we can make it more tailored.
Well, and also don't forget, like, just the big thing with being long distance is that, you know, we use technology.
Use technology. Leverage all the technology possible. On our website, there's, I think, did you write the habit trackers?
Yep.
Yep, there's the habit tracker. You know,
Should probably do another one just about some of the other software out there that we use. But most of it's pretty basic. We use the habit trackers. We use, like, you know, video chat, you know, various apps for that. But it really doesn't matter which one of those you use. You're just talking on video,
Right.
and it's just anything you can do to keep that connection
exactly.
going.
And that's what we'll do. Maybe that's what will be our next video. Is we'll go through the different forms of technology that we use and give you specific tips on and ideas on how to make it specifically kinky. Like, we all use WhatsApp, but how do you make that kinky? We all, like, people use habit trackers. How do you make that kinky? So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Thanks for being really patient with us. We had to wait for new internet. We're testing out a new camera. Let us know what you think. If you liked the other videos better, let us know.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Bye, guys. Oh, not bye, guys. Bye, everyone. See, sometimes even Domina has a hard time with it. Bye, everyone. Bye. Okay.